Today is all about fat, and this is a big piece of this challenge. We're on day 2. I brought an awesome guest, Ryan Humphreys. We go way back, 24-Hour Fitness. We were probably the first people to start putting butter in our coffee, and no one knew what we were doing. We knew what we were doing way before it was cool. And we just we're so fascinated by this movement of primal eating and the fact that eating fat has been so demonized. And I know that a lot of you are coming out of a low-fat, non-fat diet, and it's scary to start eating more fat. Maybe you have been eating fat, but we just want to talk about fat and make sure you guys have the education. And so if someone comes up to you and they're saying, oh my God, how are you eating butter? That's going to give you heart disease. We want you to be able to say, no, it's not, and educate them. Ryan, tell me where you work in Denver.
I work at Existence Athletics, co-owner. Existence Athletics, also Bushcraft CrossFit.
Yeah, and they do cool, what's the movement that you do?
MoveNat.
MoveNat. So they do a lot of really functional movement. What do you call it, functional? That's more CrossFit. It's more...
We like to call it species-specific movement.
Yeah, so they're all about the
crawling,
body.
Climbing, jumping, throwing, catching, carrying.
Maybe we should do a workout soon. I think we should.
Down with that.
Okay, so let's talk about this is perfect. So you guys all know we're cutting sugar. Especially after the 21 days, this is a big piece that we cannot have high fat and high sugar. So high carbohydrate diet with high fat equals disaster. Tell me the story about your brother.
Yes. So high fat diet, not a bad thing, unless we haven't cut out the sugar. You guys have already cut out the sugar, right? So adding that high fat, not a bad thing. When I first told my brother, hey, eat some bacon, man, it's not gonna kill you. And he was like, dude, our dad had heart disease, bacon, that's gonna kill me, right? It's like, no, it's not. So he just added bacon to his diet. He added butter and bacon, but he never took out the sugar. And he just continued to drink soda and eat whatever he wanted for probably several months. And then I ran into him and he was like, oh, dude, this bacon is awesome. I love having it for breakfast. And I caught him with, I think, a Dr. Pepper.
Oh, no.
And he was like, dude, you didn't tell me to take the sugar out. I did, but he just didn't listen.
So you guys are on the right track. Just know that this diet is only helpful for you if we also are really cognitive of what our carbohydrate content is. So why do is it because the studies are also studied, high fat equals heart disease? Is that because those studies also do not take away the sugar content in these people's diets? What are your thoughts?
Yes. So some of the original studies done, decades and decades ago, were trying to figure out what was causing heart disease, right? America wanted to know what was causing heart disease. And if you Google a guy named Ancel Keys, you probably heard the Ancel Keys story. He was a very bad scientist who hypothesized that it was these high-fat diets that was causing heart disease. So he charted how much fat each country was eating and how much heart disease, and he came up with this awesome little chart that had America at the top. And I think he had 7 countries on this study.
7-country study. Mm-hmm.
Right. Problem was there were about 22 countries that he studied, but when you put those countries in, you don't get a nice little graph with America at the top.
That shows that high fat equals heart disease.
Yes.
So it was a very twisted study that took over the world, especially America, and thus created this low fat phenomenon.
Yes.
So what are the detriments to this low fat, non-fat diet that so many Americans are eating?
So unfortunately, when you take fat out of something, it doesn't taste very good.
No.
So sugar tastes phenomenal. And unless I'm wrong, which I could be, there's nothing in nature that's sweet that's not good for you.
Yeah.
Right? So as a caveman or cavewoman, you're walking along and you see something bright and shiny. If you eat it and it tastes good, it's probably good for you.
Yeah.
Like an apple, right? Or berries. We've got antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. But I don't believe there are any poisonous berries that taste delicious.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
They're bitter.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I know, I survived. But they are. I did know that fact.
So when you eat something sweet, your body goes, oh, this is good for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because in nature, you wouldn't find anything that gave you that same sugar response that was not good for you.
Yeah.
So if you eat vitamin C, you don't get scurvy, right? Mm-hmm. And then you live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So lost my train of thought.
It's okay. So sweetness, taking fat out.
Yes.
And how in nature.
Yeah. Taking fat out does not taste good.
Yes.
So we put sugar in, replace it, and then your body goes, oh my God, this is delicious. It's got to be good for me, right?
Yeah.
So my brain says it's good for me. Au contraire.
Yes, it's not good for you. And that's why you're doing this challenge and gonna get your life changed because we're gonna cut sugar. Okay, so let's talk about, let's talk to Rachel, sorry. Oh, what was the last time? The eating to satiation.
Yes.
Satiety.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of you guys, if this is new to you, when you eat more fat, you'll realize you get full way quicker. So we're gonna take away this old school way of thinking of eating every 3 to 4 hours. What did you say earlier? If we did that,
So a lot of people ask, so I'm supposed to eat every 3 hours, every 4 hours. If humans were supposed to eat every 3 to 4 hours, we would have died thousands of years ago. We would have died a long time ago.
we would not be here today.
Right.
So the goal is to take these meals and make them more potent, make them more nutrient dense, and fill you up for longer periods of time. So there's going to be times where you're not so hungry, and that's okay. I like your 80%. You said, go ahead and tell them about the precision nutrition 80% rule.
Yes. So John Berardi of Precision Nutrition uses a method of eating till about 80% full. So eating to where you think you're about 80% full and then stopping, knowing that it's okay to leave a little bit on your plate. The whole cleaning your plate is something definitely from Missouri, right? You better clean your plate.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
And that plate's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah, we always finish it. We would get in trouble if we didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't want to waste things, but now it's like kind of become this thing. We are definitely overeating. So it's going to be good for you guys to start recognizing that full signal. Do you believe in breakfast just being the bulletproof coffee? So just coffee, butter, fat, coconut oil? I'm
a big fan of the bulletproof coffee. Also run into the issues of people ordering bulletproof coffee with a scone on the side.
Yes. No scones for you guys.
Not the best idea. So bulletproof coffee in and of itself can be, you can have a good 400 calorie, 500 calorie breakfast with just a bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
It's when you add bacon, eggs, scones on top of the bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
Now you might wind up with, 1,200 calories in one sitting.
For sure.
So you definitely have to be careful with ordering a bulletproof coffee, I guess, on top of a breakfast.
Yeah, I love that. So eating more fat, you guys, your goal is to eat, if you want to use MyFitnessPal as a great way to get your macronutrient percentage up. For you guys that are fat loss, ready to lose some weight, we're going to eat about 60 to 65% fat. And if that's a really big adjustment for you, you can just gradually add more coconut oil, gradually add more butter throughout these. It doesn't have to be a switch starting today. That can be very hard on the digestive system. Digestive enzymes can be very powerful if that's something. Do you ever take enzymes?
Sometimes papaya.
Papaya. Oh, that's a great one. And pineapple can sometimes be better if you have like not better, but useful if you have an irritated gut system. Eating more fat, 60 to 65%, that greatly depends on our carbs. So if you are more active, if you are crossfitting, if you are trying to hit those 5 to 8 minute sprints and doing really well at them, your carb level will go up. And so we were kind of debating about what to officially give you, but we're gonna say about 15% carbohydrates for fat loss peeps out there, for weight loss peeps, and a little bit higher, 20 to 25. Is 25 too high?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20. 20% if you're a little bit more active. It is an adjustment. There's going to be a few days that are going to be rough. Do you remember your first transition to paleo? How rough it was? It's bad.
It's pretty rough.
We've been there and we know it's tough. So just hang tough, get through those 4 to 5 days. At the latest, 7 days is the latest I see people shift. But when that energy source can shift to using fat as fuel, I promise you're gonna feel way better and this challenge is gonna be really successful for you. So stay with it, drink lots of water, and most importantly, eat a lot of fat. Any other takeaways for eating more fat?
Fuel.
Fat is fuel, and that's what this challenge is all about. We'll talk more about carbs and proteins in the videos to come, so sit tight. I know I didn't really dig into it as much as I should. Please give me, for your point today, give me your thoughts on eating fat. Is this crazy? Are we crazy? What do you think? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.